But apart from all of that idiocy, the one thing Justin Trudeau is known worldwide for, and what he loves to brag about the most, is of course how woke he is. And so let's look at some of the wokest things Trudeau has done as Prime Minister. So, he has stated that he wishes to form a party that is, in his own words, resolutely pro-choice, and that potential liberal candidates in the 2015 election who were against killing your own children would be expelled if they did not vote pro-death on abortion bills. Now, in 2017, the Liberal government announced that Canada will welcome nearly 1 million immigrants over the next 3 years. Now, he's also very known around the world for having legalized marijuana. The legislation to legalize cannabis for recreational use, Cannabis Act Bill C-45, was passed by the House of Commons of Canada in November 2017, passed second reading in the Senate on March 22nd, 2018, and it was passed by the House on June 19th, 2018. And on October 17th, cannabis was officially made legal in Canada for both recreational and medicinal use. Now, of course, we all know that leftists in particular are in support of taking drugs, even though obviously we all know that drugs are a huge problem and cause lots of death, but let's put that aside. And I just have a feeling that maybe Trudeau is so much in favor of this because he himself admitted in an interview in August 2013 that in 2010, in his own words, we had a few good friends over for a dinner party. Our kids were at their grandmother's for the night, and one of our friends lit a joint and passed it around. I had a puff. Yeah, that explains a lot. But, of course, Trudeau never, ever shuts up about how he is a feminist, stating, "I'm a feminist and I'm proud to be a feminist." Now, Trudeau has also stated that the Liberal Party is unequivocal in its defense of women's rights. We are the party of the Charter. Now, after being sworn in as Prime Minister, when asked by a reporter why he felt gender parity was important when naming his cabinet, he replied simply, "Because it's 2015.
Your cabinet, you said, looks a lot like Canada, and I understand one of the priorities for you was to have a cabinet that was gender balanced. Why was that so important to you?
Because it's 2015.
Yeah, that's right, because just because it's current year, that means that you should accept whatever I say. Sorry to say this to you, Justin Trudeau, but current year is not an argument. You can't just say because we are living in whatever year we're living in that this is okay. It's one of the dumbest arguments ever. But if we use his logic, then being misogynist to women in, let's say, 1800 was alright because it wasn't 2015. So, more recently, he's also similarly answered to feminist organizations on social media that, on behalf of the Government of Canada, I'm writing back to let you know that I wholeheartedly agree. Poverty is sexist.
Poverty is sexist.
Oh, really? Is that why the vast majority of homeless people are men? Okay, never mind the fact that men and women are equally affected by poverty. There is no country where there's a significant amount of more men being poor than women. Or really the opposite. So, in January 2018, in a speech at the World Economic Forum, Trudeau called for critical discussion on issues brought up by the Me Too, Time's Up, and Women's March movements. Trudeau has also advocated a high standard, holds a zero tolerance for sexual assault, harassment, or other forms of misconduct by his employees or caucus colleagues, despite the fact that women have already accused him several times of groping them, but of course those rules don't apply to him.
Obviously, as I've said many times throughout this week, it's really important to believe and support any woman who comes forward with allegations of sexual harassment or sexual assault. And that's exactly what my government and myself, we do.
So you've communicated that to your caucus and to your cabinet. Will the same standard apply to you if someone comes forward?
The standard applies to everyone. There is no context in which someone doesn't have responsibility for things they've done in the past. These two members of Parliament have been accused of serious personal misconduct. Given the seriousness of the allegations, I have suspended the MPs from our caucus. It must give the benefit of the doubt to those who come forward.
As you look back at your own career, is there a chance at some point that your actions might have not been construed the way they were intended?
I don't think so. I've been very, very careful all my life.
It accused Trudeau of groping and inappropriately handling an unnamed young female reporter.
I am confident that I did not act inappropriately. It's not just one side of the story that matters. I had a good day that day. I don't remember any negative interactions that day at all.
You have had a zero tolerance policy when it comes to allegations of sexual misconduct within your party. There are serious allegations against you right now. Why not call an independent investigation and put the story to rest?
He almost contradicted himself. He basically said, listen, there was no negative interaction, but I apologized at the time. If there was nothing negative, why did you apologize in the first place?
I'm confident that I did not act inappropriately. Really important to believe and support any woman who comes forward.
Okay, so why did I say all of this? Why am I talking about how woke Trudeau is? Well, for two reasons. First reason is because in Canada, we are going to be having our election next month. And the big news going around is how Trudeau wore blackface, or as the media puts it, brownface, because this totally looks brown to you, to a party. And so first of all, let's just look at the picture. So in the picture, we have Trudeau, so woke that all his friends are white, dressed in blackface, like completely black, and such a feminist that he's touching a woman basically on her breasts, because as Trudeau says, the zero tolerance standard applies to himself, and he's been very, very careful all his life to be thoughtful and respectful of people's space, peoplekind space, by the way.
We like to say peoplekind, not necessarily mankind, because it's more inclusive.
Yeah, so you sure seem to be doing a very good job. Now also, this is very ironic from someone who is constantly apologizing to different groups for the oppression of the past, and who, I mean, if he's already all these things, it's obvious that he is very anti-racist. Yet, he's so anti-racist that he wore blackface, which, as we all know, is basically one of the most racist things in North America. I mean, I don't think I have to really explain what blackface is, but for those of you who don't know, it's basically like this thing where white people dress up in black and then make fun of black people. So, yeah, you're so woke, Justin Trudeau, that you're doing that. So congratulations, Justin Trudeau. You sure are not being a hypocrite. Now, the other thing that makes me even more angry about this is not only the fact that he's being racist, sexist, and a huge hypocrite, but probably worst of all, he's lying as well. For example, when a journalist asked him how many times he had worn blackface after the first picture, which was the one I showed you, emerged, he said that he had worn it one other time. But then the next day, the liar was caught having worn it a third time in another video. And then later on, when journalists asked him just how many times he had worn it, he answered by saying this.
It is obvious that this is something that was deeply regrettable. I am wary of being definitive about this because the recent pictures that came out, I had not remembered.
Now, I have a suspicion that Justin Trudeau has probably worn it dozens of times, if not even more. Because if the fact is he can't even give a number of how many times he's worn blackface, then who knows? I mean, probably soon some more news will arise about other pictures of him wearing blackface. What's really annoying about all of this is just how much of a hypocrite Justin Trudeau is. Despite all of his virtue signaling about how he supports diversity and he's against sexism and racism and he's for multiculturalism, Justin Trudeau is a complete liar. Not only does he wear blackface not once, not twice, but 3 times, but he also lies about it, and all of this just after he was trying to get other people fired for having made racist comments in the past, despite the fact that he himself was pretty racist in the past, and I have a feeling that he probably still is today. Also, he's always talking about how much of a feminist he is, yet he is touching a woman on her chest, which is clearly sexual harassment according to his own standards. And finally, what's worst of all was his absolutely pathetic excuse about why he was wearing blackface.
In 2001, when I was a teacher out in Vancouver, I attended an end-of-year gala where the theme was Arabian Nights. And I dressed up in an Aladdin costume and put makeup on. I shouldn't have done that. I should have known better, but I didn't. And I'm really sorry. Yes, it was. I didn't consider it a racist action at the time, but now we know better, and this was something that was unacceptable, and yes, racist. I have worked all my life to try and create opportunities for people to fight against racism and intolerance, and I can just stand here and say that I made a mistake when I was younger, and I wish I hadn't. I should have known better then, but I didn't, and I did it, and I am deeply sorry for it.
Did I hear that right, or are my ears not working? Aladdin. Is Aladdin black at all? No, Aladdin is barely darker than you, Justin. So don't use Aladdin as some stupid excuse. And plus, if you think Aladdin is black, then you're probably just proving once again that you're racist, that you think if everyone lighter than you is automatically black. Honestly, Justin, you are such a retard. So basically, this guy is stupid, he's a liar, and he is a hypocrite. And to finish off this video, Canadians, if you want this idiot to become our Prime Minister again, then you are stupid. Vote against Trudeau this election. Make sure Trudeau does not ever win an election again, and make sure we will continue to bombard him with this until he loses. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you next time.